We've seen what happens if we add a material that changes the entire surface of our shape to be a single color. Right now it's all fuzzy brown. I'm actually going to go in here. I'm going to add a new material, which I'm going to rename as Painted Bear. So what we're going to do here is we're going to vertex paint this rather than using a single color. I'm just going to change the color of my bear to white for right now. And I'm going to turn on this option called Vcol Paint in this material. What this will do is that as we paint a texture onto the bear, it'll actually be able to render it in the final version. So with my bear selected, having turned on Vcol Paint, I'm going to switch into Vertex Paint mode. My bear becomes completely white, a blank palette, and I'm going to type N to bring up my paint properties here, and I'm going to pick a nice base color for my bear. It'll be some sort of a brown again, and I'm going to just slather this onto the surface of my bear. And you can see that as I'm painting this on, it seems to latch on in some places better than others. We're actually seeing a little bit of maybe a grid poking through this as I paint it on. And what's happening here, and you can see that as I paint on, since I'm painting in the front view, it's only going onto the front of the bear. What's happening here is I'm painting the actual vertices of this bear, a particular color. So this is sort of like an airbrush technique. And if I want to keep painting the rest of the bear, I actually need to spin him. I can use the 4 and 6 keys on the keypad to spin the bear around in different directions, giving myself access to the different sides of the bear. And this is pretty handy. As I'm working on this, I'm actually going to slide this out of the way a little bit, as a way of giving a more hand-painted texture to the bear. As I keep spinning, I see more white spots, back of the toes, things like that. And basically I'm just painting the bear everywhere I see him as I spin him around here. And I'm okay with it being a little bit splotchy right now. I can go back in and clean that up later. The point of this exercise, however, is that now I can change what color the bear is. So I actually want my bear to have a somewhat darker brown muzzle, for example. So I'm actually going to choose that darker brown, and then spin my bear so I can see his muzzle, and paint that on. So now he's got a little darker brown muzzle, and I like him to have some lighter colored paws, maybe that light brown. I just want this on the ends of his paws, so I'm going to paint those on. You see that paw is a little lighter, and that paw's a little lighter. I'm going to do the soles of his feet as well, that color. And part of the trick here is making sure that I am not accidentally painting things behind this. You can see I actually missed a little bit. There's a little bit of light color right there. I'm going to make his belly that same lighter color. And I'm going to choose yet another brown. We'll make it a slightly warmer brown here for his ears, and we'll say the whole back of his head here, going down his spine. So as I create this, I'm actually able to make my bear more and more and more detailed here. The one thing that's true here, and this is particularly evident on his muzzle, is that if I actually render this, what I'm going to end up with, and I need to adjust my lighting again to make this a little bit more evident. You can see the redder ears, the slightly lighter paws there. I need to move my lighter. These colors are connected to some sort of a grid underlying this. It turns out that because our bear is actually a mesh, what we're painting here, I'm going to switch to edit mode. Actually, I'm going to switch to wireframe view here. Our bear is actually made up of a wireframe. This is like a chicken wire mesh that is the underlying framework, and the skin is sort of stretched over all of this. And what we're painting here are all the places where the lines cross. We're able to pick a color for that point, and it blends out until it hits the next color, the next vertex there. So that's all we're painting here. We're going to see in the next screencast how to get a little bit better detail doing this. So I'm going to switch back to solid view. And in fact, if I go to shaded or textured view should actually let me get a preview of what my bear looks like in a little bit better detail. This takes a little bit more processing power. I can see my bear as it is right now.